Hello everyone, welcome to short concept video lectures, static concepts in relation to social issues and social justice. We will be looking at, in this particular video, something that has been debated for a while, and it keeps on sort of erupting, as it were. One way or another, we are grappling with this off and on, which is caste census. It has been in the news for a few years now, and we are looking at both sides of the debate. Now, let us just quickly look at caste census as to what exactly it is and why does it merit our attention. So basically, census, of course, in India is a fairly old practice. You trace it back all the way to 1881, but there is, you did not have caste census right from the beginning. What is called socio-economic and caste census, this started in the year 1931. So it is not, the first clarification is, it is not that we are doing something for the first time. It was done earlier as well, and as I just pointed out, it started in the year 1931. Now, there is a difference between the census in general and what we call socio-economic and caste census. These are two different exercises, or shall we say these are two exercises, or these are exercises that attend to different purposes, different objectives. So for example, when we are talking about a census, now census is a broad general exercise which is to make sense of basic trends in relation to the Indian population at large. So that is particularly to do with, broadly speaking, the national population. But when we speak about socio-economic and caste census, we are looking at a particular objective, because here what is happening is that we want to kind of make sense, we want to identify who all are the beneficiaries of the state support, and then through that identification, we will also be able to figure out whether they should continue as beneficiaries, right? So caste census in that sense is going to be very, very helpful in terms of understanding where we stand. So we are looking at beneficiaries of state because we have to figure this out, right? That if so basically, if you conduct caste census, you will be able to, it will help in figuring out where different caste groups stand in relation to economic resources, particularly, right? It's important to figure this out. And therefore, you have a range of arguments that kind of promote, that make a case for caste census. For example, one of the things that could straight away happen is that once we do a caste census the right way, it will help us in the long run. Subsequently, it will help us look into social inequality in more informed ways, right? So this will be a more informed awareness of social inequality, and then it would lead to a more just distribution of resources, because after caste census we will figure out few castes have more share of the resources, and then there are castes that hardly have anything or they have very little. So then caste census will also lead to a more just, a more equitable distribution of resources. So that is something that is also there. we should also be able to, uh, so will be able to evaluate the performance of reservation. You know, what has reservation done? Has it really been of any help in relation to marginalized communities? That is also something that we have to think about. So caste census is going to be of great help because it will inform us about how different castes are doing. So if within the OBCs, if within the SCs, we get to know that these communities are doing relatively better, and then there are other communities that are really down the mark, then it will also tell us that reservation, although a great idea, but it has not really been able to reach the lowest rungs of the Hindu social order or the Indian social order. So this is also something that we'll be able to understand. And let's just say an updated picture of inequality in India. So it will be an updated picture. We will become aware of what exactly is going on right now, because whatever data, a little bit here and there we have, that's all old stuff. But with caste census, we will be able to kind of become more aware of these things. But if you look at some of the negatives, right, the negatives, there are also people who do not want, they are saying, no, let's not do this. So one argument, that's a very old argument. It is also given in against reservation. It says strengthens caste consciousness. It strengthens caste consciousness, that if you do this, then people will become once again more aware, more conscious of their caste, which is not really a very convincing argument. Although the argument can be used, but it's not a very convincing argument, because the reverse question does not really help us. What is the opposite question? So when you say caste census is going to strengthen caste consciousness, then the reverse, the opposite question would be, by not conducting caste census, by not carrying out caste census, is caste consciousness going to go away? And the answer, of course, is no. So which means this particular thing, when people say that it's only going to strengthen, or it is only going to further sort of entrench caste consciousness among us, it's not really that simple. Then scholars, people have also pointed out that it's not going to be an easy exercise, because the definition of caste definitions, it gets very difficult when people sort of identify themselves as this or that, etc., because defining caste has always been a very complicated matter. So, and then the last is, it will only lead to more divisions. That's again an argument that if we do this, it will further divide the society. The more caste consciousness there is, the more people become aware of this caste and that caste, the more they are asked about their caste again and again and again, it will lead to more divisions. The Indian society will be actually more divided. So this is something that we have to think about. But there are also scholars like Satish Deshpande who say that caste census is good, but only caste census will not do. Says caste census is great, one must do it, he's in favor of that, but he's pointing out only caste census will not do. After caste census, we have to also come up with possible interventions. You get to know that this is what the situation is. Now you have to do something about it. So just conducting caste census is not going to do anything. We should not think that by conducting caste census, we will be able to crack something. No, it won't happen. Caste census is an important step towards something, but it will be a meaningless exercise if it is not followed by proper interventions, state-led interventions, whether that is about subcategorization, whether that is about identifying other ways in which, getting at other ways in which creamy layer, privileged, entitled caste, etc., could be listed, and so on. So Satish Deshpande is very clear that in order for caste census, he is completely in favor, but he says just by conducting caste census, we will not go any far. We must make sure that caste census is subsequently followed by important, credible, informed, and social justice sort of driven state interventions, right? So this is what is broadly about the caste census. I hope this was of use, and just in case you are required to, you will be able to sort of make use of these pointers, right? Thank you for your attention and all the very best, and I'll see you very soon.